Game 2 of 3 here at Palm Springs Stadium as we have playoff baseball in February. Playoffs, we are not kidding you. And we're excited to bring it to you here for the second time today. Josh Sperber, Mitch Glessner on the call for the battle of the 3rd and the 6th seed in the Cal Winter League as Jesse Galindo offers to the A's Walker Paz. It's a strike one on the breaking ball as we set the lineups for both teams. Walker Paz, a leadoff hitter for the A's and playing short. Collier Rutledge batting second, playing left as Galindo pumps in the fastball high and outside. Count evens up at 1-1. Colton Kendrick, the third hitter, will play first base. Chris O'Neill is the cleanup man and batting fourth, playing third. Tavis Brunson, the DH, bats after him at the 5th spot as Hodge grounds it right to the second baseman. Xiao Pin Ho fields and fires to first for out number 1. So a routine ground ball out to bring up Collier Rutledge as we continue the lineup for the Canada A's. Batting 6th is Eddie McCabe. He's playing second base. Travis Ford is out in right field. Collier batting center. George Kimbrough playing center field for the second straight game. He's batting 8th. And the new addition, Omar Ortiz Vasquez, is doing the catching and batting 9th. Part of the playoff draft, as we'll discuss a little later on in the broadcast, is the first pitch is a breaking ball to Rutledge in there for strike one. The defense behind Jesse Galindo is as follows. From left to right in the outfield, it's Blake Porter, I.E.J. Pollock in center, Chandler Palias out in right as that one is hit sharply over to the shortstop Ojeda, fires to first, and that is at number 2. So 2-foot ground ball outs for Jesse Galindo, and joining Ojeda at short in the infield is Gavin Jones at third base, Xiaopin Ho at second, Swanji Pang at first base, and battery mate of Jesse Galindo is Devin Fisher. Primary catcher for the Chill. And now there's 2 outs to Colton Kendrick. Kendrick, another former minor league guy, played a couple years in the Twins system after he was the 8th round draft pick back in 2017. Takes the first pitch for ball 1. Lefty shift on for Kendrick. The second baseman, Ho, is on the outfield grass on the right field side as that's fouled back by Colton. Count evens up at 1-1. Gavin Jones is the third baseman, playing closer where shortstop is. Ojeda on the outfield grass, almost directly behind second base. And the first baseman, Swanji Pang, is a bit further back from his normal depth at first base, but at the customary position. That one is grounded right into the shift, fielded by Pang. He's going to take a couple steps forward, taps the bag for out number 3. So the number 6 seed Chill, or number 3 seed Chill, take down the 6 seed A's 1, 2, and 3. And the Chill get their first playoff axe after this. For the Canada A's, 6 seed A's 1-2 at the third third seed Palm Springs Chill's dangerous lineup up at the plate. They've got a lot of speed at the front of it as Chandler Pallius is the leadoff man playing in right field as he will head into the box to take the first playoff swing for the Chill. He leaves the bat on his shoulder, but that fastball is in on the outside corner for strike one. Joining Pallius in the starting lineup is A.J. Pollock, batting second, playing center field. The pitch from West outside, just missing the strike zone, count even at 1-1. Blake Porter's in left field and batting third. Gavin Jones is the cleanup man, playing at third base once again. Swanji Pang is playing at first base and batting fifth. And Xiao Pin Ho, his countryman, batting sixth and playing at second as that one misses high on Pallius, count 2-1. Kazuya Ohita batting seventh and playing a short. Tyler Bonsky is a designated hitter, and he's batting eighth. And Devin Fisher rounds out the lineup, and he'll be doing the catching for Galindo and the Chill as Pallius skies this in the foul territory. Right in front of the batting turtle is Chris O'Neill, and he makes the catch for out number one. The defense, along with Chris O'Neill at third base, Walker Paz at short, Eddie McCabe at second, Colton Kendrick playing first base, Connor Rutledge in left, Aaron Kimbrough in center, Ford out in right field, and Omar Ortiz Vasquez, the newest member of the A's, is a battery mate of Ben West, the right-hander who has got the first out already. He's up to face A.J. Pollock in the lineup, the dangerous center fielder, who had a couple of triples last game as he drills this one high in the air out into center field. Making the run is Kimbrough, and he makes the catch for out number two. So a quick second out. It actually looks like Kimbrough and Ford have swapped positions. So Travius Ford is in center field. Dejard Kimbrough is in right.
Now batting for the Chill,
The number
left
3
fielder, number 11,
in Blake
Porter.
A couple of last-minute changes. Colton Traeger was initially scheduled to start as Porter takes the first pitch for ball one, but a late scratch in that game. He's still battling that hand injury. Strike one to Porter now. So Omar Ortiz Vasquez was taken in the playoff draft and is now a permanent member of the A's for this game. And if they upset the Chill here, he will be on their roster for the rest of their playoff time.
Good swing there from Porter. A couple of good starters, the best starters for each of these teams. Galindo did pitch an inning of work the other day, but obviously they had to save his arm for this game, so we'll try to go at least 5 strong, as will Ben West on the mound for the A's.
One's fouled back by Porter. Count remains 1-2. A's did not pitch yesterday, as the A's did not play. Had their season finished at 3-12. West's last outing was against the Bombers, who had 4 runs in 1 inning of work, as that one misses for ball 2. West, 0-3 on the year, 3.31 ERA. This is now his 8th appearance and 4th start. 19 innings, he struck out 17, 19 and a third innings now, or at 2/3. Struck out 17, 8 walks, and 17 hits allowed. And the count is actually full to Blake Porter. Just making sure with the home plate umpire. Another 4-man crew for the playoff action as Porter waves and whiffs at a high fastball. West gets in the chase. An emphatic finish to another 1-2-3 first inning. So each side goes down 1-2-3 to start off this playoff contest. And at the end of 1 inning, we are scoreless. Chris O'Neill, Tavis Brunson, and Eddie McCabe to lead things off for the A's in the top of the second inning. Josh Sperber, Mitchell Glessner here with you for game 2 of our triple header of California Winter League playoff action. Jesse Galindo fires in the first pitch. Looked like a slider, but it missed outside. Count 1-0. Galindo, a pitcher who also doubles as an outfielder. A guy with a wide range of talents as that one misses low. Count 2-0 to Chris O'Neill.
Definitely a solid pitcher in both of those aspects. A little bit better of a pitcher, that is. Great starts for him all season long. He's been one of the top pitchers in this league.
He's 1 for 4 at the plate. A sterling record on the mound as he gets the first strike in there to O'Neill. Count is 2-1. This is 6th start for Galindo. 1-2 the record. 1.61 the ERA though. 29 strikeouts in 21 2/3 innings. And he is now 22 2/3 innings and a 3-1 count on Chris O'Neill. 3 walks allowed, which is just remarkable in that much of a time span, and 16 hits. It allows fewer than 1 hit per inning. 3-1 pitch fouled away by O'Neill deep into foul territory out of the stadium. Count will fill up at 3-2.
Yeah, and we saw how it'll pay its dividends if you don't walk guys. Jackson Decker in game 1 only walked 2. The complete game for him. He gave the Grizzlies a really good chance to win that one, and they followed suit. They did win that one, so if you don't walk guys, you're going to put your team in a good position to win any ball game, and Galindo has showcased that all winter long, and he's trying to showcase it again here.
Jackson Decker will be joining our broadcast later on today, our player of the game for that first game of playoff action after he threw a complete game in the victory, as that one is sharply lined foul by O'Neill. Pitch number 6 of the at-bat goes foul. The count remains 2-2. Or 3-2, excuse me. Part of the order coming up for the A's. O'Neill's been one of the more successful hitters for the A's, hitting .348, 8 hits, and 3 at-bats. And there is a walk. The 4th time Chris O'Neill has reached base for free.
Now batting for the Canada A's,
Full count.
designated hitter,
7 pitches in the back by Galindo.
Tavis Brunson.
Base runner of the game.
Yeah, and a key walk there, as we were just mentioning. Galindo not one to walk very many hitters, just his 4th walk issued, and a good setting of the tone here from Chris O'Neill to leave it to Brunson with good pop in his bat.
Tavis Brunson, a home run already today. One of about 8 players in the Cal Winter League who has hit a home run. None more than Jacob Cruz, who we'll see in the Commissioner's Cup next game as the Bombers take on the Power. 1-0 pitch, home run hack from Brunson there. He waves and misses though. Count evens up at 1-1. Brunson back to his 2-tone bat. I miss that stripe bat that he has. I think that was just really cool.
Quite famous as well, too. He hit the home run with it.
Brunson holds up on the high heat. Check to the second base umpire reveals that he did not swing, so the count is 2-1. Black barrel, red handle on the bat. 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss. That's strike 2. Counts all squared up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And his home run was super impressive as well. He was hitting with that bat with a crack in it. He just taped it up on the handle with some athletic tape, and he still had the bomb with it.
Makes it all the more impressive. And no cork fell out, a la Sammy Sosa, so it was all good. That one was just for Andres Tejeda, member of our broadcast team and a big Cubs fan. We like to joke around in the booth here.
2 decades ago.
He's still not happy about it. 2-2 pitch. Missing low, count runs full. As O'Neill staying firmly planted on first base, not really threatening to steal. No attempts for Chris O'Neill on the season. Taking a bigger lead now with a 3-2 count. He might be running on the pitch. And he was dancing around a little bit as that one skied in the air in foul territory down the third baseline. Running to make the play is Gavin Jones to make the 2-handed grab and foul territory for the first down of the inning.
And he was battling the sun. Me and Andres talked about earlier on in that early game that those guys didn't really have to deal with the sun being early in the morning, but now that sun really starts to peak around 11:30, so these guys are going to have to deal with it in this game as well as our third game of the day, so we'll see how that plays out. But Gavin Jones has been really sound over at third base all winter long, and he makes a pretty tough play on the ball skied in the air, but he makes the play nonetheless.
And as has been the norm, no clouds in that blue sky as Eddie McCabe takes the first pitch, a breaking ball in there for strike one. 0-1 the count to him. Beautiful day here in Palm Springs. Not a cloud in the sky, 87 degrees. It's a warm weekend as McCabe lines that into the outfield, and that's going to fall in front of Paulius for a base hit. Quick throw into second base is cut off by the second baseman, Xiao Peng Ho. So the first hit of the ball game is awarded to Eddie McCabe, and they're 2 on and 1 out for the A's.
Kind of fought that one off too. It was up and around the chin area, and he just pulled the hands through and got enough of the barrel on it. Paulius looked like he had a good jump on it, like he was going to try to maybe lay out and make the play, but he thought, you know, it's just too soon on here for me to make an early mistake like that, so safe choice in letting the ball drop in front of him.
And it kept the runners on second and first base. So there's a runner in scoring position. That's who Galindo's going to check on. And Chris O'Neill fires the first pitch into Travius Ford in there for strike one. And Ford has played a big part in the 3 A's wins. He scored the winning run for their first win of the season. Actually, I think it was their second win, that walk-off triple, or the triple he had to lead off the inning. Dejard Kimbrough hit behind him. And a nice play, spearing the line drive is Galindo, and that turns into 2. 1, 4, 3 goes the double play. That will end off the top half of the second inning. What a great web gem from Jesse Galindo. So we're still scoreless as it turns into one runner being stranded on the bag. No runs as the double play ends off the top of the second. So it's Gavin Jones made the first out of that second inning, and now is up to the plate for the first time. Bottom of the second for the Chill, still scoreless, just one base hit in that last inning from Chris O'Neill, and there's one strike to Gavin Jones, taking a healthy hack at that high fastball from Ben West. Count is now 0-1. Jones has been a mainstay in the Chill lineup, only subbed out once. But other than that, has played every inning of every game, as now the count is 1-1 to him. And he's still one of the best hitters on this Chill team. 45 at-bats, almost 10 more than anyone else in Stan Clyburn's lineup. That is fouled high off the end of the bat. It looks like it's going to drift towards the trainer's tent, and it will. So the count is now 1-2 to Jones. Jones on the year, 16 for 45, 11 runs scored, 4 extra base hits, 13 RBI.
Fun month up here.
So a 1-2 count to Jones, former Oakland A's minor league player. As that one bounces in the dirt, count evens up at 2-2.
One of the better hitters out here. We were talking about it a little bit yesterday. These chill hitters, quiet years for them, but a lot of them have had a lot of good success, and Jones falls under that category. 4 extra base hits, 2 triples, 2 doubles, 16 hits, 13 RBIs.
Wave and a whiff, strike 3. Ben West powers the fastball low and gets Jones to go. So second strikeout in a row for Ben West. Beat to Ryman. And Swansea Pang is coming up to the plate with 1 out.
Good job there. Just gets the fastball right by him. Jones too late on the swing, and he comes up empty.
And lined sharply, but right to the right fielder. That's Dejard Kimbrough, who has to fall to a knee to make the grab, but he does. And after a 6-pitch strikeout from West, 1 pitch, out number 2, after a sharp line drive from Swansea Pang.
Yeah, that is a corner outfielder's nightmare, too. The ball that's hit right at you on a line drive, sinking, hooking, and you're like, I'm not sure if I need to go in or if I should let it drop in front of me. Sometimes it'll freeze you up. It kind of froze up out there for Kimbrough, but he hangs in there to make the play.
And I think you were reading Kimbrough's mind, because it looked like that's how he was reacting to the baseball. Definitely some sinking action on that line drive, and he kind of overestimated how far it's going to go. Almost had to make a diving play. So 1-1 the count to Xiao Pinho. Taiwanese international, who was signed by the Marlins out of the Cal Winter League back in 2017. Played a season in their organization, making it to their low A level. Didn't make it out a short season though. 2-1 pitch, bouncing in the dirt, count 3-1.
Yet again, another hitter that's been relatively quiet at the plate, but he has come up with some big production at times. The big fly does have 6 RBIs, so he's got some pop in that right-handed bat of his. But again, most of his numbers just coming really quietly throughout this entire winter long.
Yeah, he's primarily a contact hitter, and he just this one foul. Going to start chasing, let it go into the stands to fill up the count to 3-2. And Ho primarily a contact hitter, but as you mentioned, the home run, the triple, showing that he can in fact create power off of that bat. But certainly a guy who looks to kill him with his speed. He's got good speed, good range at second base. Was originally a shortstop, and they moved over to second. Hammered down that third base line right to Chris O'Neill, though. Fielded on the hop and scooped up on a hop by Colton Kendrick to end off the inning. So once again, the Chill will go 1-2-3. We're still scoreless here. And the bottom of the second inning coming into the third. Top of the third inning here at Palm Springs Stadium. Second game of playoff action today. DeJord Kimbrough will lead things off for the A's. Josh Sperber and Mitch Glessner here with you, and we're joined by Jackson Decker, our player of the game from that first playoff matchup, earning the win in a complete game. Just the third complete game, second going to 7 innings, as the pitcher on the mound, Jesse Galindo, had a 6 2/3 inning game in a walk-off win that I believe you remember a little something from there, Jackson.
Yeah. That game, man, he's tough because he's got the 2 different arm slots. So just hearing it from the hitters, it's just hard to pick up out of his hand. And he throws surprisingly well from both slots. 'Cause most times when you see guys that do that, they're pretty predictable when they drop down. But he throws everything from both slots, and it's tough to hit.
You were certainly tough to hit today. Complete game effort, man. That was a good showing. As
Kimbrough drills that into left field. Easy run for Blake Porter, making a one-handed grab for out number 1.
Yeah, man, I just try to fill up the zone, and that's what I've basically preached since coming here. Just try to throw as many strikes as I can.
Catcher, number 21.
That's my defense to
Omar
do the job.
Ortiz Vasquez.
It's felt great, and the defense was solid today. So it turned out to be a good game.
And what do you think kind of clicked, like as a team as a whole, to help get that playoff win?
Honestly, I think everybody just kind of settled down. The past couple games, it was kind of rough. I think people were kind of trying to do too much at the plate, even on the mound. Guys just again trying to do a little bit too much, and it doesn't really show well when you're trying too hard. I mean, we've all been playing baseball for most of our lives, and for me, it makes a difference when you just go out, let your body do what it's going to do. Try and take care of it as much as possible. Did that well today. So
2 straight flyouts from the A's. Ortiz flying out to Pollock at center to bring up Walker Paz. 2 away in the top of the third, and the first pitch misses for ball 1. And you told me that you like to either be the starter or the closer. Today,
Yes,
you were the starter.
Yeah.
How do you prepare when you're starting versus when you're closing?
Honestly, prep is pretty much the same. I do a little bit more long toss when I'm starting, just to wake everything up a little bit more, just because I know I'm obviously going to be throwing a little bit more pitches. But as far as mental prep, it's pretty much the same.
Paz drills that into center field, but Pollock takes 2 steps to his left to make the grab and end off the inning. So 3 quick flyouts for the A's. Jackson Decker will stay with us for the bottom half of the third, as we're still scoreless here at Palm Springs Stadium. Back with Jackson Decker, a complete game victory in Game 1 of the playoffs for him. And you guys can enjoy that Super Bowl Sunday off tomorrow before you have to go again on Monday. Is there any team you really just are itching to play again?
Dude, I'm a Joe Burrow fan all day long. I just think I feel like he approaches athletics fairly similarly to me. just through like interviews that I've seen of him, all that kind of stuff, he seems to have a really good head on his shoulders, especially after like the rough year he had last year, the injury and all that kind of stuff, and then coming back this year and just really showing off. I think he's just a phenomenal athlete, and I'd really like to see him win.
I'm sure we'll have plenty of time for more as that one's popped into shallow right field. Eddie McCabe makes the two-handed grab for the first out. So should that mean we should expect you on Monday to roll up in a turtleneck, a chain?
That's what I was gonna say,
Dude,
man.
I don't have that much swag. I wish I did.
I was gonna say phenomenal athlete, but even just a cooler dude. Is there a cooler person in the world than
Joe Burr.
Yeah, Joe Burr, man. He's a cold dude, man.
He really
He's got
is.
ice in his
He
veins.
really does.
And we got Jackson Deckburr in the booth.
Seriously though, man, you had it working today, and I kind of knew that you just had it working from the get-go because you were pumping in a couple of change-ups that looked really good. You weren't spiking them or anything like that, and usually that's a good sign for a starter on the mound. When they're locating the change-up, you really know they got feel for it that day.
Yeah, and I threw my changeup a few times early, and then honestly I just went to the sinker after that, and that got me a lot of swings and misses, which typically I'm not a very big like whiff percentage guy. I love pitching to contact. That's going to trigger some people, but I love it. It makes my job so much easier, and I seem to get a lot of weak contact because I don't really throw anything straight.
That is not weak contact there. Grounded sharply to second base. McCabe bobbles, fires it to first, and safe is the call on Bonsky. So Eddie McCabe is going to get the first error of the playoffs, actually, as we had one of the cleaner games in the first round.
Yeah, just trying to do a little bit too much there, ranging to his right. Couldn't quite make the clean transfer there. The throw was a little off. And the lead man on.
Seems like unusual for him. It seems like he's a pretty decent defender. Like he's probably one of the guys that I had not necessarily like challenge facing, but just watching him swing the bat, it's a little intimidating trying to throw to him because he just covers so much ground. He's got such a clean swing. Can hit it to any field, really. That's what it seems. So I think he's probably been one of the tougher guys to face. And he seems pretty solid defensively. So it's kind of weird.
Talk about some solid defense. You got some solid defense from
did.
Littman in center field,
I
man. He
did.
laid out, made the web gem grab there.
He was a little shaken up after that. He was telling me after the game that he thought he conkied himself when he went down. But no, like he made some great plays, which was great to see. Again, me being a contact pitcher, love it when the defense is just on their toes and making plays behind me.
And is that kind of how you've always been, or is that just how you've evolved as you...
Definitely an evolution of my game. Growing up, grew up in like small town New Brunswick, Canada. I was kind of like a big fish in a small pond. So I loved blowing it by people. As I got older, that kind of changed because I ran into better hitters. And
Right down the third base line for a base hit. That might go for extra bases for Fisher. Bonsky stands up heading into third, and Fisher stands up into second base. A one-out double. The first extra base hit of the day goes to Devin Fisher, and that puts two runners in scoring position with one away.
Pretty good job there from Fisher, just keeping it fair down the line, just over the bag, which we've seen all too often here in the last week or so. Everybody's flirting with that third base bag that doesn't seem to stay planted over there.
Right fielder.
Nice job
Number
there from Fisher at the bottom of the
Chandler.
two runs in position from Tallius now at the top.
And Jackson, you were talking about your evolution to more of a contact pitcher.
yeah, so like when I was younger, I loved striking kids out. Like that was my jam. And then I've been throwing the same curveball since I was 11 years old, and that was always like my go-to strikeout pitch, all that kind of good stuff. But as I evolved into like college ball, and then I played a year of Western Major, I really just I realized I wasn't going to blow it by people anymore. So then I just kind of evolved my fastball to move a little bit more, less straight, and just get a lot of ground balls. And that's kind of what I've enjoyed doing as a pitcher for a few years now, because I get to stay super efficient.
Callius lines that into left field. It's deep enough to possibly score the runner. Bonsky tagged from third. The throw is cut off. And the run is unhinged, but it is still a run. Number one for the Palm Springs Chill. They take an early 1-0 lead.
Good downward movement to as we talked about. It changed up a little bit, but you highlighted that two-seam. Change from four-seam to two-seam.
Number 29.
So I throw both, and I throw more of a sinker rather than a two-seam, and that's really, and I just try and tunnel those as best as I can, because like even today I threw like majority fastballs, and it's really just trying to alternate between those two pitches.
There's a high fastball. AJ Pollock needs to duck away from that one.
He loves sitting on the plate.
He does. We have highlighted that a ton. He is on top of it.
Do what you got to do, but he is on top of the plate. Yeah, I love tunnel because I got a little bit of cut to my four seam.
And there's a throw back to second base. Throws wide, but Devin Fisher back safely, and he might be a little slow to get up there.
Jam just rears on base.
Something like that. That's what it probably looked like. Yeah, you definitely have that bowling ball action to that sinker.
Yeah.
You were working it real well down and into the righties, it looked like today.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of swing and misses, which again, like I don't traditionally do a lot, but I was just starting at knees and it just had good action today. Like my arm was feeling pretty loose, so I was getting a surprising amount of swing and misses on the sinker today.
2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike one, and a foul tip into the glove of Ortiz Vasquez. 2-1 the count.
And who's a pitcher that you try to model after, or some of your favorite pitchers in general that you like to watch?
Favorite pitcher all time, Roy Halladay. 100%, no questions asked. Grew up watching him and being Canadian. That's pretty much the only baseball we get to see all the time is Toronto Blue Jays. So he's who I like emulated my game after all growing up. And then recently, I really enjoy watching Trevor Bauer pitch. I really like how he does stuff. I've seen a couple like interviews with him and just like his mental and how he approaches pitching, and really like how he just goes about pitching in its entirety. Another absolute savage is Justin Verlander. Who doesn't want to throw like that? I don't even know how old he is now, but he doesn't seem to be slowing down by any means. My favorite was watching him, and he would literally throw harder in the seventh inning than he was in the first inning. And to me, that's just amazing. That you get 70, 80 pitches into a game and you're pumping 97 to 100. Like, who doesn't want to do that, right?
And his velo hasn't dropped a bit.
No, right? It's insane. Obviously, I've watched like a lot of like Garrett Cole, all that kind of stuff, but he's just an absolute workhorse. He's just a very large dude, and he uses his body very efficiently. So it's fun to watch him. I just don't think I could ever do what he does.
And a lot of the pitchers out here working with Cam Roth, the pitching coordinator.
Yeah,
What's
great
your
guy.
time like been with Cam?
He's fantastic. He's
And Pollock thought that was strike three, but I thought that was ball four, excuse me, but it turned out to be strike three. So Pollock down looking, the third strikeout for the pitcher West, but a run still coming home for the Canada A's. 1-0 after three. We tried kicking Jackson Becker out of here, and he just wouldn't leave. So we're going to have him on for the top of the fourth inning. Josh Berger, Rich Glessner here for you. All jokes aside, it's definitely good chopping it up with you, talking baseball. And Jesse Galindo's having another strong game. You had some pretty high praise for him as a pitcher. What have you seen from him so far?
I mean, he's just doing his thing. He seems pretty comfortable out there. Just mixing up his arm angles like he does. And it seems like he gets ground balls like that all the time. I feel like it's super hard to square up whatever he's throwing. Definitely a pitcher only at this point in time, because I do not want to face that.
Can't imagine how difficult it would be in the box. It's hard enough just from up here in the press box.
Right?
We started talking a little bit about Cam Roth. What's it been like working with him, as well as, your manager and Tom Incaviglia, and just all the managers in general?
Yeah, so I haven't talked to a whole lot of guys, but I've had a couple good conversations with Inky, and then I've talked to Cam a bunch. He came up to me, I think it was after my first relief appearance, and it had been something that I've been working on for the past couple months, just trying to stay a little bit more in my hips, and I was kind of sitting back in my hips too much, and he kind of came up to me, and I was in the bullpen, and he kind of did this sassy hip position, and he's like, so if you're going to a bar, would you talk to a girl like that? I was like, no, probably not. You look kind of silly. He's like, so why are you doing it on the mound? I was like, man, I don't know. He's like, dude, you're 6'4", use that. And since then, I've just been staying straight with my back leg, and it's worked. I can't say anything other than that. It's felt really, really easy, really, really clean. So I think he picks up on stuff really, really well. Obviously, he's been around the game forever. And I think he's just a wealth of knowledge that I really enjoy tapping into. He's given me some really, really good tips, just like mentally, like I said, that one physical cue he gave me. So I look forward to continuing to pick his brain on just like the little things on how to get better.
And that's obviously a big part of the Canada Winter League, getting that development, getting access to guys involved in a lot of different leagues. I mean, can you tell us some of the other benefits and how that's helped you improve so far this season?
Yeah, well, I mean, so like I said, I haven't really talked to like a bunch of guys, but from the guys that I have talked to, it's mostly just, for me, it's a big mental thing. So I'm a guy who, like, when I'm on the mound, I shut my brain off. Like, I look at the catcher, he tells me what to do, I do it to the best of my ability. And I kind of praise myself on that, and that's something that, again, I've developed since college ball. Because again, I used to be like very cocky, thought I could blow up all that kind of stuff. And when I realized I couldn't do that anymore and got frustrated, then I just had to realize that I just needed to turn my brain off and just do what my body knows how to do, and it'll do it. And that's something that that Cam's also reinforced in me, Inky as well. He's been
Neo slices that into right field, but making a run is Palias. He'll hold up the throw as Rutledge is back at first safely, 2-1.
So yeah, again, Inky's been great because he's just a really, really good positive force in the dugout. He's always nice. He doesn't say a whole lot, but when he talks, and it's always nice to have a manager like that. You just respect that. So yeah, like those are the two guys that I've mainly been talking to, and they've been great. So.
Next up is Tavis Brunson, who takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. And you got another playoff game coming up on Monday, as we talked about. But I mean, this game is kind of a tough finish to it. Take us through that 7th inning.
It was a little sketchy, wasn't it? So I had no clue what my pitch count was, but I was feeling good. I felt like I had stayed pretty consistent throughout the game, and I knew that I just had to go out, fill up the zone as much as I could, just throw strikes, get my defense involved, all that kind of good stuff. And that's what I tried to do. I feel like my forcing got a little flat on the first batter. Again, I was kind of aiming it a little bit just to try and just get it in there. So after that first hard hit ball, I kind of had to nut up a little bit and do what I needed to do. But again, being able to trust my defense behind me, I just went in there and just said, okay, let's just throw strikes. That's what we got to do. That's how you get guys out.
Brunson drills that deep into center field. Pollard going to his right, takes the grab. So one runner left on base for the A's, but they can't get that run back that they allowed in that last inning. Big thanks to Jackson Decker. Really appreciate having you on this broadcast. And best of luck on Monday.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back with more California Winter League baseball. Thanks to Jackson Decker for joining our broadcast. And this is the dangerous part of the order for the Chill. Porter Jones and Swanji Peng. 2 home runs in between the three of them. Blake Porter and Swanji Peng with the home runs. Porter struck out his last time up as he leads off his bottom half of the 4th inning. First pitch to Porter inside, count 1-0. Porter hit one of the first home runs of the Cal Winter League. That right field wall, that one is drilled right near there, but way foul into the batting box down the right field line. And Porter, a guy with just a lot of power. He's on the thinner side, so you wouldn't expect it, but he can drive the ball to all fields. There's strike 2.
That's what I was going to say. It's a true sign of good raw power. I mean, you don't have a huge frame, but you're still able to just crush a baseball, especially to the pull side. Porter with a rather wiry frame, but boy, he pulls those hands through the zone, and the ball just explodes like it does there.
And there is the evidence of it. It's almost like he was listening. Drilling the single into right field, and he comes up hopping on that hamstring at first base. So he is going to wait it out. We might get a courtesy runner or a pinch runner for Porter at first base, but that would be a huge loss for both the Chill and just baseball here. Porter's been one of the better hitters this season.
That's not good. He's definitely going to come out of this game. I've been there, done that, and right now I'm having PTSD of just those moments. I've definitely done that before. Line drive single, you're running hard out of the box, and you never know. You could be dehydrated. It could just be a fluke thing where your muscles are trying to, react too quickly to the situation. But I've been there, done that, and that's definitely tough to see because there's nothing you can do when that hammy pulls up tight like that. It just grabs, and it's over. It's like, man, that won't allow you to run. It won't allow you to do anything. So really feel for Porter here.
And it looks like Lenny Peters is coming to take the helmet. He's primarily a shortstop, but we could see him in left field. So Lenny Peters will be the pinch runner. And we will Back to Gavin Jones coming up at the plate.
Yeah, again, you never want to see that. And for all we know, that could end his winter league because sometimes those hammies, especially with how gingerly
Leading off for the Chill, number
sometimes those
23,
injuries
third
doesn't last a
baseman,
few weeks.
Gavin Jones.
So Gavin Jones will come up with a base runner. Peters on first base. It's a bit of a speed advantage over Porter as that one is hit right to shortstop double play territory on to McCabe, and he throws on a first for a double play. So one pitch later, the hit is wiped off the table. And they're two away here.
Now heading for the Chill, first baseman,
Pretty good
number
tailor-made
1,
double play there by Oz.
McCabe.
Not so sure-handed earlier on in the game, but there he gets the ball out on a clean transfer. Nice tailor-made double play between the middle guys.
So the pinch runner back at the dugout, and Swansea paying up to the plate. He takes a look at ball one. Fastball outside. Count 1-0 to him. Lined out to Desjard Kimbrough in right. Had him tripping over there as he lines it right down that line again, but this time it's foul. Count 1-1.
And with Porter, too, coming out, I mean, boy, that's going to be crucial for them. I mean, he is their best hitter in the lineup. He produces all of their runs, or most of them at that. Big RBI guy, big power in his bat. It's to go the other way, pull side power, and they're going to miss him.
And that one is hit high in the air into right center field. Travius Ford on his horse, and he makes the grab. So that will end off the inning after the double play. It ends up going 1-2-3 for the Chill. They can't put another one on, but they lead 1-0. So Josh Hines in as the backstop now for the Chill. They've come up with 6, 7, and 8. And Eddie McCabe, the 6-hitter, lines that one into left field for a base hit. And Lenny Peters has replaced Porter there. So unfortunately, that might be on the more serious side for Blake Porter. Always tough to see a guy come out after a big hit.
Now heading for the A's,
Yeah, and as mentioned again, I mean, Blake Porter, he is
Travius
one of the
Ford.
most incremental guys offensively for the Chill. You never want to see that. You don't want to see anybody get hurt, but it especially sucks when it's, you know, your best hitter in the lineup. Porter at the top in their average. He's right at the top for them in hits, the home run. He leads the team in RBI, so a tough blow.
And Travius Ford tries to sneak in a punt. He will not get there in time and tagged out trying to get back to first. is Eddie McCabe. So a nice back pick from the new catcher, Josh Hines. McCabe staying on his feet there, and it cost him.
Yeah, that's just careless base running really there from McCabe. You have to get an aggressive secondary there, but then you're freezing and you're dialed into what's happening at the plate, and you have to see the ball down. As soon as it's not, you're heading straight back to the bag at first, and he was really late. Looked like he may have not even seen the ball cross home plate, and he was just hung out to dry.
So sliced high in the air on the infield dirt, and that's snagged by Xiaopin Ho for the second out. A little soft line drive from Travius Ford for the second out of the inning.
Now batting for the Canada
On the hands there.
right fielder.
I don't know if he broke the bat, but surely no hard contact there. Travius Ford has really struggled here in the California Winter League. You look at his college numbers, there's a guy that's consistently hit 350 plus with home run power, and for whatever reason just couldn't get anything going here out in California.
And there's a breaking ball on the inside corner to Dejard Kimbrough. He gets strike one. And that curve is looking really good from Galindo. It looks a little bit like a slurve there. And it's no one pitch. That one misses low and away. Count evens up at 1-1.
And like Jackson was telling us, he will change that arm slot. It's not a huge difference, and for us up here, we're a little further away. It's not as noticeable, but you can definitely notice it at time to time.
Well, there's that 3/4 arm slot pitch on the slider, and that misses outside. Count 2-1.
Yeah, he'll bring it really high 3/4, and then he'll drop it down to the lower 3/4. Shift of about 6 inches per arm slot.
Lower one again, and pitch low again. Count 3-1. Another breaking ball from Galindo, missing to Kimbrough, who flew out his first time up. There, that pitch finds the corner of the plate. Count runs full on Kimbrough.
Be interesting to talk to Jesse. I'm assuming the higher arm slot, he gets more of that downward bite on the curveball.
And that one is fouled high in the air, popped out into the stands, and that's going to roll out of play. Count remains 3-2.
And then I would guess in the lower one, that's where you create that good sink action, that bowling ball sinker that Jackson was telling us about that he has in his arsenal. It's really cool to learn about how he said he's evolved as a pitcher and changed his outlook from being a strikeout guy to a contact guy, and maneuvering and shaping the pitches to do that. So really fun conversation with Jackson on that front.
And Kimbrough reaches for it, grounds it over to third base. Gavin Jones makes the play. For the first before the out. So heads up at 1-2-3 after Eddie McCabe got caught stealing. The score stays 1-0 heading into the bottom of the fifth. The Chill lead. So we've got a defensive battle on our hands. The Chills scored the only run of the game back in the third. The sacrifice fly drove in an unearned run, and Tyler Bonsky, Taylor Pallias with the RBI, and now it's Xiaopin Ho who takes the pitch low to Ben West. Count is 1-0. A new pitcher in the bullpen for the A's is Ho drills that into left field, but right at Collier Rutledge, who reaches up to make the grab for the first down.
Pretty good piece of hitting there from Xiaopin, but just right at a guy in left. We've seen a lot of that really in this game. A couple of balls hit well into the outfield, but just right at outfielders. Haven't had any serious noise really in this game. Just 2 hits a pop per squad. And one run across.
Number 20, Kazuya Ohira.
Bring up Kazuya Ohira, a power hitting shortstop, as he slices the first pitch directly behind him into the netting. Count is 0-1. Ohira popped out into right field his last time up. 0 for 1 on the day. Still has the single game best this season with 5 RBIs. The fastball goes over his head. Count 1-1. And we got a new pitcher in the bullpen for the A's, Eric Telaroca. And I know he was a guy who you knew when he was in the summer here, Mitch.
Yeah, good old Telaroja, man. He was out here in the summer, and he was one of the older guys there in the summer. A lot of those guys, still playing collegiately, so a lot of them, 19, 20 years old. Older right-handed pitcher. He came in to get some reps in over the summer, and back again here for more action in the winter.
Could be a playoff ringer for Paul Noce and the A's. They still trail by 1, but certainly not because of their pitching. Ben West has been solid all day long as he gets Ohira to swing and miss at a high heat. Count builds up at 3-2.
And Telaroja, a guy that's going to come in and pump strikes. He's not really going to mess around. He works quickly, too.
Hit off the end of the bat, but right to the first baseman, Kendrick, who scoops and steps on the bag himself for the second out.
So that's what we can expect when we do see him in this game. He's not one to mess around. He's like the right-handed version of instead, maybe not that quickly, but just forward quickly and just tries to get guys out on weak contact.
It's hard for anyone to work as quickly as Cornstead. He's already pitching the next pitch when he gets up in his windup. He is so fast on that hill as Bonsky takes strike 1. Bonsky has the only run of the game so far, but he reached on an error by Eddie McCabe back in the third. Swing and a miss at an inside pitch. A really nice looking fastball from Ben West there. Would have jammed him up had he made contact, but unable to connect with Bonsky. He's in an 0-2 hole. West, glove in front of his face, in his line, and fires. Slice foul by Bonsky. Count remains 0-2. And Bonsky had really been a reserve at the beginning of the season, but his hitting has improved as the year went on, and he was actually one of the position players used as a pitcher that drew attention of a lot of these managers. West deals the curveball, fisted foul by Bonsky into the stands and out of play. And now Bonsky's really, towards the end of the season, has become a mainstay in this chill lineup.
Yeah, he has been, and he's given them good production at the bottom of the order as well. He's done a great job of trying to turn the lineup back over to the top. Here in the 8 hole today.
0-2 pitch, hit high in the air down the right field line. Could be trouble if it's fair, but it drifts foul. Bouncing on the concrete. That's the 3rd straight foul ball by Bonsky. Good defensive at bat with an 0-2 count.
Yeah, and that's what he'll bring to the table. Likes to go the other way when he does put the ball in fair territory. So he has that approach, although they have a unique infield shift on O'Neill, really shading the third base line there.
0-2 pitch, just caught his bat. 4 straight foul balls now. 6 pitches in the at-bat so far, all strikes, and the count is still 0-2.
I mean, they are just welcoming a base hit through the 5-6 hole. With O'Neill shading in Matt Chapman area, playing deep and hugging the line, and Paz, now he's deeper in the hole, but he was closer to the bag at second.
And O'Neill is almost in line with the third base bag. As there's the first ball of the at-bat. Pitch number 7 is a high fastball that makes the count 1-2. right side of the infield, not on a shift as the 1-2 pitch comes in, misses high and outside, and those frustrating foul balls are starting to get to West on the hill. A great at bat here for Bonsky.
Yeah, this is a heck of an at bat here. He's just trying to keep the inning alive with 2 down.
2-2, fouled away again. 5 foul balls in this at bat, and Tyler Bonsky keeps the count at 2-2. 9 pitches now.
Could this be a momentum shifter too if he wins this at bat?
The 2-2 from West. Almost hits him, and it does hit him. So a curveball just slipped the grip of Ben West. And on to first base is Tyler Bonsky to bring up for the first time today Josh Hines, the catcher.
And Bonsky as well, a pretty decent threat to run on the base pass. He doesn't have stolen base, those big monsters runs, but he does have some good long strides. He can pick up and run on here and give Hines an opportunity to drive in a run with 2 down.
And Hines been on the chill for most of the season as Bonsky takes off for second base. The first pitch of the at-bat is a strike, and Bonsky is in there with his second stolen base of the season. Hines looks at a pitch down the middle, but he's got a speedy runner on second with 2 outs.
Yeah, and he wastes no time. It was like, maybe he'll pick out one to run on. He said, I'll just do the first one. How about that? Get it out of the way.
Josh Hines has played for both teams that are on the field right now. Helped out as the A's were in need of catching help with Colton Traeger's injury. Now, Omar Ortiz Vasquez is the other catcher as long as the A's season continues. West steps off the mound, and Bonsky comes back to the base, dancing around there. West came off the mound to try and hold him on second. So a 1-1 count. Runner on second with 2 away. Breaking ball just missing low. Count 2-1 to Hines. Hines 3 for 21 on the season. 2 runs scored, 4 walks, and an RBI. A single could make it a second RBI. 2-1. Slice high in the air down the right field line. In the infield territory as the basket catch is made by Kendrick to end off the inning. So a 2-out walk comes to nothing. Now last batter of the inning is retired. We are through 5 innings here in Palm Springs. The Chills still holding to a 1-0 lead. Top of the sixth inning, Omar Ortiz Vasquez leading off for the A's. The newest A's facing another former A in Hakuto Kanai, making another relief appearance where he's been so solid for the Chill this season. As the first pitch to Ortiz Vasquez is in there for strike one. So Galindo, 2 hits in 5 innings, no runs, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. As Hakuto Kanai, the save leader on the season, gets Vasquez to ground to second base. Xiao Pin Ho, so smooth in the transition after he fielded on about 3 hops for the first out.
Yeah, he made that look way too sexy over there.
Now batting for the Canada A's,
Easy
the
little
leadoff hitter
transition.
and shortstop,
Back, but
number
made it
2,
look too cool.
Walker Haas.
Joe Burrow being cool and Xiao Pin Ho making second base look pretty cool over there himself.
So smooth at second base as a fielder. And making that first out look easy to bring up the leadoff batter in Walker Paz, who takes the first pitch for strike one. So Kanai making his 15th appearance of the year. 1-1, 165 ERA. 2 saves, which leads the league, as that one is bounced right back to Kanai, who fields it on a hop and sends it to first base for the second out of the inning. So 2 quick ground outs from the Japanese submariner.
Now batting for the Canada A's, left fielder,
He's been really
number
good as of
23,
late. He hasn't
Tyler
in his
Rowland.
last 3 outings, and really in all of his outings, let's see here, he's pitched in 14 games. He's only allowed earned runs in 2 of those 14 games. Real solid reliever for the Chill.
One of the more reliable relievers, whether in the middle of the game or closing things out, as he is currently in line for the save here, as Galindo would be in line for his second victory of the year. And that one is drilled into the gap in left center field. Pollock almost gets there in time, but that ball is down for extra bases, and it's only going to be 2 as Conner Rutledge stands up on second with a 2-out double.
Yeah, and you know you hit a ball hard when you burn AJ Pollock out there in center field. Pollock, with some of the better reads in center field, him and a couple of the other
Now
guys.
batting for the Canada A's, first baseman,
We saw good play,
number
as Jackson
32,
Decker mentioned.
Golden
in one
Patrick.
I believe that was Israel out there. I'm getting all my names jumbled up, but we've seen some good center field play, and AJ Pollock has pretty much led the way. So if you burn a ball by him, you know you hit it hard.
And speaking of guys who hit the ball hard, Colton Kendrick at the plate, spits on a breaking ball, 1-0 the count to him. He's 0 for 2 on the day, but a guy with a lot of power. If he barrels up on a pitch, you're more than likely not going to see it again. That one gets in there for strike 1. 1-1 the count to Kendrick. It's like an inside breaking ball. As Kanai, one of the few submariners, not something that we see a lot in today's game, but that deceptive delivery has made him one of the strongest relievers in the Cal Winter League. 1-1. Chopped on the ground over to first base. That is fielded and flipped back to the mound. Kanai tags the bag, and that will do it. So the 2-out double spoils the 1-2-3 inning, but a clean first inning of work from Hakuto Kanai to hold the A's scoreless through 5.5.
Rodriguez.
So after 5 solid innings from Ben West, Paul Noche goes to his bullpen and selects a guy making his California Winter League debut here in 2022, Eric Telaroca, 28-year-old right-hander. Primarily a guy who throws breaking balls. His fastball will sit in the mid-80s. But he's got the top of the lineup to work with for the Chill, Polius Pollock, and then Lenny Peters, who will make his first at bat as Polius grounds it right to McCabe at second base, flips it to Kendrick for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out for the former PCBL player.
Yeah, and Telaroa, he's going to get a heavy fastballs early in the count. Has a way with the
Number
breaking ball.
29.
He's a guy that's going to put the ball in the zone. He's not going to mess around. He's not trying to fool anybody with the fastball, really. He's just saying, hey, here's mid-80s to 87-ish. Try and hit it, and that's what you're going to get from him. And he gets the first pitch out there from Polius on just that.
Looks like a guy like Jackson Decker, as he talked a lot about when he was in the booth here. Guy who just pitches to contact, relies on his defense to do the work. Not a lot of guys that he's going to try and get to swing and miss. But he gets Pollock to look at the fastball there. 0-1 count, 1 away. And that one goes way high. Nice snag by Ortiz Vasquez. Count 1-1.
Maybe a little uptick in the velocity. That looked like maybe 87, 88, but that's going to be about the max effort from Telaroa. Problem is when he tries to tick back or tick up, I should say, he's going to lose control like he did there.
And another time losing control. Ortiz Vasquez doing a little somersault in the dirt there after making that grab. 2-1 the count to Pollock, who's 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out in his last at bat. One of 3 strikeouts thrown by West, who allowed 1 unearned run on 2 hits in 5 innings. 2-1. Sliced foul by Pollock into the stands, and out of play. Count evens up to 2-2.
Trying to power that fastball by Pollock. Pollock, like Decker said, he's on top of the plate. It was funny to finally hear it from one of the pitchers. Like, man, this dude is literally hovering over the plate.
Yeah, he might as well be standing on that thing. 2-2 count. Telaroca deals, and that is a foul once again. We will stay at 2-2. One of the many players to make the jump from the summer to the Winter League here at Palm Springs Stadium. Landon Barnes, the future Washington Wild thing. Another guy who has made that jump. 2-2. Sliced foul again. 3 straight balls fouled away by Pollock. A good defensive at bat. As he is pushing up the pitch count for the newly entered Telaroca. He is likely to throw only 1 inning as Kyle Armsworthy, the Scotian sidewinder, warming up in the A's bullpen. Telaroca pitching exclusively from the stretch, center of the rubber. In his stretch, high kick deals, and Pollock slices foul again. The good defense continues by the New York native. Remains at 2-2. Here with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th.
Good test, too, for Telaroa, who in the summer primarily pitched against junior college talent. These guys here in the Winter League a little bit better, so it's a good test for him.
2-2 again. And that is hit high in the air down the left field line. Straight away left field. It's Rutledge who camps under for out number 2. A good defensive at bat. That battle won by Eric Telaroca. And it'll be 3 versus 3 on the mound and at the plate. Lenny Peters making his first at bat.
Then for the Chill.
Quarter to
Left fielder, number 3.
catching that hamstring.
Lenny Peters.
Base hit in the 4th inning. So Porter will finish the game 1 for 2. Peters was the pinch runner in that inning, but was taken out on the double play. And now he gets his first cuts here. Fastball misses away, kept 1-0.
Yeah, and we'll just hope the best for Porter. Obviously, me and you would like to see him continue throughout the playoffs. Should the Chill win, their bats have gone extremely quiet here, and seeing a different arm slot in Teleroja certainly isn't helping them in that regard.
1-0 pitch. Peters definitely went around. No need to appeal. So 1-1 the count to him. Peters known more for his defense as a solid contact guy. Good speed out of the box. 5 hits in 24 at bats. 5 runs scored. And 6 RBI. 2 of his 5 hits have gone for extra bases. The 1-1 from Teleroja. And it's hit into the gap out in left center field, and that's going to be some trouble. Peters speeding around first base as it's fielded by Rutledge. He's going to fire into second base, but sliding in safely is Lenny Peters. So a 2-out double by Peters, and the Chill looking to start a rally to extend that lead.
Good job there from Peters. He didn't get all of it, but he got just enough of
Batting for the
it.
Chill.
Placement there in the left
Number
center
23.
allow him to use the wheels and get into second base. And now it'll be Gavin Jones, one of the better hitters on this squad. Him and Porter at the top in the RBI category, and Jones would like to plate another one here. They only lead by 1 run, trying to search for anything else to provide here for their defense and pitching to relax a little bit.
Jones grounded to a double play his last time up. He fits on a fastball, but that falls in for strike 1. That fastball looks a lot faster than was described to me in the mid-80s. That might be high 80s, maybe even touching 90.
Yeah, definitely a little bit harder from what I remember in the summer. He was sitting right around 85, 86 then. Maybe ticking it up just a notch.
The 0-1. Breaking ball falls in there for a strike right at the knees of Gavin Jones. Struck out, down into a double play.
He was really a guy in the summertime too. He struggled a lot at times. Really struggled to find the zone, and so far so good here.
Teleroja quickly checks on Peters at second, sends in the 0-2. Wave and a whiff, strike 3. Tagged out for safety is Jones, and the first K for Eric Teleroja, who gets out 3 of the 4 batters he needs in the 6th inning. So another extra base hit, and that guy is stranded again. We are through 6 innings here in Palm Springs. And the last chance is played. Three more outs for a 6-out save for Akudo Kanai. And he's got 4, 5, and 6 to do it. Chris O'Neill, Tavis Brunson, and Eddie McCabe, some dangerous hitters for the A's, trying to extend this contest as the breaking ball catches the outside corner. Count 0-1 to O'Neill. O'Neill walked and lined out, so he's 0 for 1 on the day. He sent this one high in the air, out into shallow right field. Ranging over is Xiaopin Ho. Toes on the dirt. He makes the catch for the first down.
Hangs with it there. The sun blinding him just at the last second, but looks all the way into the glove on the high pop out. Good way to open up in the seventh from Kanai, who's been so sure-handed in all of his games this year. Like you mentioned, Josh, going for another save opportunity here in the seventh.
And Brunson is a guy who can change that with just one swing. Kanai 2 for 2 in save opportunities. Tavis Brunson has a home run already this season. He takes ball 1. And he's looking to blow the save for Kanai. The 1-0. Just in there for a strike. Right at the knees of Brunson and on the outside corner. A good pitch from Hokuto Kanai to even up the count. Kanai working quickly, sends the 1-1 in and misses low, count 2-1. Brunson 0 for 2 on the day. One of the leading hitters for the A's this season, particularly when it comes to power. That one misses low again, and the count is 3-1. Brunson 6 for 21 gives him an average just under 300. 8 RBIs, that is the most on the team. Only extra base hit is the home run. 3-1 pitch. Brunson takes another look. This one catches the outside corner to fill up the count to 3-2. Nobody on, 1 out. Brunson has a full count, payoff coming, and he takes a timeout just to get himself composed in the batter's box. Maybe a little mind games with the pitcher here as well. The payoff pitch from Kanai. Sliced foul, and we'll do it again.
Good hacks traditionally here from Brunson, who does not get cheated. There's one guy in this Winter League that doesn't really shorten up or change his swing. It is definitely Brunson. He is trying to put a ball over 400 feet every single time.
The payoff once again. Hit on the ground, but foul. Right down the first base line, and Swanji Peng ends up in the dirt on the right side of the field. The bullpen ends. Trying to make that play. One straight fouls by Brunson to keep this at bat going. Kanai taking a long pause, kicks and deals. Ball 4 way outside to Brunson. So 8 pitches later, the A's have the tying run on first base with Eddie McCabe presenting the go-ahead run at the plate.
See if they can get something started here with
Hitting for the A's,
Nine.
1 out.
Again, not really a strikeout guy.
The second baseman,
Dangerous hitter.
number 15.
McCabe so far this
Eddie
year has shown off
McCabe.
the power, so to speak. We've seen it in flashes here and there in the gaps. See if you can get the bat head out on something, get the foot down early.
Running at first
Not a
base.
ton of velocity behind his fastball. See if McCabe can get ahead of the beat here and see if he can put something in the gap and make things interesting.
And we have a pinch runner for the A's. It's Messiah Fukuda. So there'll be some extra speed on first base for Nochi. As a tailor-made double play could end it 6-4 to 3, and that will do it. Hokuto Kanai pumps his fist on the mound. The double play turned by the long middle infield, Kazuya Okita and Xiao Ho. And this was the lowest scoring game and closest game we've had all season.
It really was, and it felt like it just breezed by. A pitcher's duel. Ben West, good 5 innings of work, but just not enough to chill. All they would need is that one run. And a good outing from Galindo, who used those 2 different arm slots to motor through these hitters. A quick start from him. Obviously, you don't want to see Blake Porter get hurt in the game before the chill. We'll see that, maybe this is a minor strain or something of that nature. But we'll see how it comes back in the next game. They get the run there late in the game, and one is all that needed there in the third on the middle of the game, I should say. Not a lot of hits needed, as mentioned, just 3 a pop for both of these teams. Good game from Blake Porter and Lenny Peters there in that 3 spot to provide some of the pop, but an error to put Bonsky on in the 3rd, and then the double to make it hurt, and that was all that they needed.
And it certainly was. A couple of double plays, some guys getting caught stealing. Really good defense in this contest, and that separated the winners from the losers in this second game of the postseason.
Yeah, not a whole lot of strikeouts. Galindo typically a strikeout guy, but a lot of weak contact on both fronts. But as you mentioned, Josh, we saw some good infield play, a couple of double plays turned on the infield, some real sound defense. That's what you need here in the playoffs. You're going to win with pitching and sound defense. The teams that, they don't allow the most free passes and they make the fewest mistakes on the infield, those are the teams that are going to continue to win here in the playoffs. We'll see what happens here in Game 3 between our 2 best teams. We've got a dandy of a 3rd game coming up here.
So the Commissioner's Cup coming up next. The winning pitcher is Jesse Galindo, moving his record up to 2-2, 1-0 in the playoffs. Ben West gets his 4th loss of the season. All 4 losses coming in his 4 starts. As the A's season is over, Makuto Kanai gets save number 3. That throws his league lead in that category. So the show will play on Monday. We won't know who they will play until after this next game. Half an hour, the Commissioner's Cup. Andres Tejeda will be on the call, and I'll be sliding over the color as we finish up our triple header. For Mitch Glessner, I'm Josh Smith. I'll give you all a big thanks for watching. Hope you stick with us as for another half an hour. We have the battle between the top 2 teams in the California Winter League this regular season. Bombers Power next, which will extend their playoff hope to 1-0 victory.